right, welcome everybody back to episode 003 of Lunch Academy. I am Sam, your co-host, and as always, we have the star of the show, Sade.
Oh, okay, the star of the show. Perfect.
How are you doing?
Doing great. Happy to have a guest because I was getting sort of bored of just talking to you.
Talking to me? Yeah, it's pretty boring. How's the weather today?
It's sunny, guys, but it is going to rain in the afternoon. But there's sun all weekend long, and in all of next week, there might actually be hope of spring being here.
Isn't spring sun? I mean, rain?
No. It's sun.
Anyway,
actually, summer. Yeah, summer's here.
We are putting our guests to sleep talking about the weather.
I was going to say, you're in Vancouver, right? There's only 2 seasons. It's literally fall and winter pretty much up until like May. And then there's 3 months of sun. And then we go back to rain and clouds and the possibility of really cold temperatures.
That's a perfect description of the weather.
We love talking about the weather.
We love talking about. We'll come back to the weather. But before we do that, we're very excited to have our very first guest ever on this episode, and on the show, I guess.
Yay!
This is James Graham, community manager of Victory Square Technologies. Welcome.
Well, good afternoon, folks. Thanks for having me.
Yay!
Yay!
Guys, we added sound effects. This is becoming a legit podcast.
We're gonna get put off for the next episode. We'll be episode 4.
I'm really excited to be your first final guest.
So, tell us what we hinted at this last week because we've been talking about Victory Square and all the cool stuff they've been doing for a while. But now you're here in the flesh. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Victory Square is up to and what you guys do?
Well, Victory Square is a venture build studio. We invest in and help work with early stage companies and startups that are doing game-changing, paradigm-shifting stuff in areas like the blockchain, AR and VR, health tech, fintech, gaming. Pretty much we have fingers in a lot of different stuff. All the cool stuff. It's really it used to irritate some people when I'd come in and do the Launch Academy stand-ups, and I'd be like, okay, if you guys are doing cool-ish, please come talk to us. We want to hear what you're doing. But it's legit. We are very lucky to be working with a bunch of really amazing companies across the board that are really going to be changing the game in the next 18 to 24 months.
It's awesome. How many companies are under the Victory Square umbrella? Do you know?
There's the ones. I think we're officially at the double figures mark at this stage, and then there are a few things that we're waiting on the dotting of I's and the crossing of T's for before we can formally announce it.
It's been a heavy month for you guys. I keep seeing you pop up. I have a Google alert for Victory Square because they do the coolest stuff. So I get like an email every 2 weeks being like, Victory Square just acquired this company.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have this opportunity to work with all these interesting companies, and we're not just a VC thing. Mm-hmm. It's very easy for VC people to just come in, cut a check, and go, and not have any involvement. But that's not how we do things. We are very much about getting in there, rolling up our sleeves, and going to war, because you find that the more early stage companies actually have people getting involved with them in the process of trying to grow, the better off they become. Just cutting a check is not, it's just not good enough anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of what we do a little bit at Launch Academy, where we try to be more than just an incubator in terms of, well, we actually don't cut anybody any checks. All we do is try to give you that environment and that support along the way. And basically, like you said previously, like going to war with the company. That's what we try to do here too. So it's nice to hear that VCs are trying to combine 2 of those things together.
Well, it's like we have this network of mentors and distribution partners, operational support, like all this, like we have all the wisdom that we have collectively put together. Like I've been in tech for almost 20 years now. Our fearless leader and CEO, Shivin Diamond Tijani, has been doing it for longer than that. It just doesn't make sense to not take all this wisdom and knowledge that we have and not actually help people grow with it.
Also, I think it'd give me anxiety to invest in a company and then just watch. I could never be a silent investor. I'd just be like, what are you doing?
You should be a loud investor.
I'll be the loudest.
You there? What are you doing?
It's 8:30. Why are you not at work? I need my 50 cents back.
Pretty much.
So about Shafin, there's a question I've been dying to ask.
Yes.
Is Diamond actually his name?
I believe so. I believe it's
legally his name.
It's legally. I think his parents,
cool.
when his parents, had him, I think it landed up on the Canadian ID.
Mr. Diamond.
Mr. Diamond Tejani.
Because
people get confused sometimes. Like, is it Mr. Diamond? Is it Mr. Tejani? No, it's Mr. Diamond Tejani.
Gotta use both.
Or Shaft.
Cool.
Or Shaft is we like to say.
Like a nickname or something, like, when you get called like Cougar or something. I guess Cougar is like the worst example.
Do you think it was a stripper name?
Stripper
name is Diamond.
We just had this talk about keeping it PG.
Sam, are we at the Roxy? No, we're not at the Roxy. There are no Cougars here.
So, I mean, for everybody watching who doesn't know who Shaf is, maybe you can introduce him.
Shafin Diamond Tejani is a long-standing member of the Vancouver venture scene, a philanthropist. He is intent on donating, I believe it's $10 million to various charities around Vancouver and the Lower Mainland this year. Wonderful gentleman, very cool guy to work with on a daily basis. Has his fingers in a lot of different pies. He's involved with launch as well. So, look him up. There's a really good Forbes article out there.
It's too bad he likes the Raptors.
Yeah, well,
I guess I'm in no position to talk trash, but anyway, moving along. So
we could talk basketball for days, son. But
we could, but that's not the point. That's where we plug in your podcast, Fans Unite podcast. See what we did there? We transitioned.
Nice. Now we have to actually start doing it again. Isn't that right, Fans Unite boys?
For sure. So I mean, like, your role at Victory Square, we've chatted at length about this in the past. You wear, a multitude of hats.
Well, you have to in this industry, right?
Yeah, you throw the name community manager in there. But I'd say Victory Square is one of a couple of companies that you do some work for. Like, could you expand a little bit of what like your day-to-day looks like?
It's radically different on a daily basis, just because it depends. I'm here today representing VST. I was attending a workshop as part of the We Vancouver initiative that VST is co-sponsoring at the Park Hotel last weekend. I came in and scheduled our social for today, this morning. Every day is different. I have the opportunity, like, community manager is like a really amorphous term. Like, every company that has one has them doing something different. So I like to think of myself as kind of an evangelist and a man of action. That actually used to be the SIG file on my email. For a different company at one point. But it's my job to not only get out there and stand on top of the mountain and be like, hey, look at us. This is what we're doing. But to also be able to tell the story of not only VST and what VST is doing, but the wide array of companies, be it Fans Unite, be it Blockchain Assembly, that we're working with.
Cool. This is where James and I have a lot in common, because I'm here community manager here at Launch Academy, and it works a little bit the same way, where I'm trying to be the spokesperson for every company in our space and make sure that we're giving them shout outs and putting them on all of our channels as much as possible and highlighting their successes, because their successes are successes, as cheesy as that sounds.
And I'm stuck in rooms with community managers. That's my role.
But a question for you, from community manager to community manager.
Okay.
How do you deal with taking on kind of different voices for each of the companies that you represent? Because you have to make sure that you're that's my biggest fear as a community manager, is representing a company in the wrong way. Say, like, I put something and I write something about them, and then my biggest fear is the CEO messaging me like, it's the right tone and it accurately represents them.
You have to be very cognizant of the fact that you're not doing this for you. You are doing this for the company. So you actually want to know, like, what are the platforms that the company stands on? What are they about? What is their community and their culture about? You actually want to be able to talk. You want to talk to the companies. Just talk to the CEO, talk to the employees, know who they are, what they are, and what they're about. Because I don't just do social and community for VST. I also am doing it for one of our subsidiaries, Fans Unite, right now. And the way I approach VST is far different to how I approach Fans Unite, because Fans Unite is it's very sports driven. It's about sports picks and sports data, and so I'm trying to appeal to a sports audience, to a gambling audience, and I'm not going to talk smack about sports teams and try and drive people to win and to do stuff like that on the VST channel. So
you put on different personalities to fit the persona of the brand.
Community managers usually become a little bit schizo.
Yeah.
That's known to happen.
I feel like as a community manager, it takes a lot of work that doesn't feel like you're getting anything done, but it's crucial to your job because you have to get to know all the companies and you have to socialize yourself into them, and you have to do all these things where I'm talking to members, I think 30% of my day, and I'm like, am I getting anything done? There's
a preconceived notion that all community managers do is just sit there in front of their computer and crack out really bitchin' tweets all day
and memes.
Yeah. And that's only just a portion of what the community manager does. It's about being able to represent for literally your community.
That's a big role to play. I was so anxious when I first started at Launch Academy. I'm like, I have to represent all of these companies. What?
Well, I'm very lucky that I've been able to, over my career in the tech scene, I've been able to do I've been essentially repping community in one form or another, whether it's the companies that I'm working with at VST or working with the companies of, say, an MMO space or science fiction fans. I was essentially community manager for a CBC project over a decade ago, working with musicians. So it's all
scrambling.
It's all the same. It's all learning about what people want and how they want to be presented, and occasionally having to learn to think on your feet really fast.
Yeah, and on that note, one of the questions we had when we were prepping the show is this idea, like, what are community managers doing wrong? Or maybe you want to throw that in there, communications managers or other fancy titles these guys have now.
It's not about you. It's not, and you see that with some people, that you can read that they're trying to show off themselves, but it's not about you. It's about the company, it's about the customers, it's about representing that, as opposed to just trying to show off with, like, again, who's got the gnarliest meme.
That's a fair point.
Well put. Yeah.
And I mean, like, knowing what you've done, you came over from very strictly the media industry. How did that cross over? Like, what was your first, like, tech or startup job? Outside of, I guess, you were working with CBC and so on and so forth.
Well, I've been very lucky that I've been able to sort of ride the crossover between media and tech for pretty much my entire career. First tech gig that I ever had was with a company in 1999, 2000 or thereabouts, that was essentially doing what Spotify is doing now. In terms of curated channels of music, and being able to provide you with a user interface. Like, does anyone remember, like, did you guys ever use, like, Real Audio? Yeah. Like, we literally had this company. Yeah, she's like, what the hell is that?
Winamp.
We had, like, a deal with Real Audio where they provided us with, like, a custom UI for our player. So you could have, like, we had links to the store, so we could sell CDs. We'd have updated news on what's going on with people, links to interviews, stuff like that. So providing you with more than just the music.
Yeah.
And then I went from there to working with CBC Radio 3, which was the youth culture, I guess, Trojan horse with the CBC. Well, CBC is very, they had this image of being very stodgy for a lot of years. And we went out with CBC Radio 3. We did I hosted a broadcast show on CBC Radio 2. I did work with a Webby Award winning web magazine. So
is that where we highlight the young up and coming Nickelback, good Canadian artists?
No, we I guess what we did was like we were actually one of the first people to break, like, say, the Arcade Fire.
Okay.
At the time.
What?
So
that's not bad.
That's amazing. I love Arcade Fire.
there you go. Yeah.
It's like finally something Sade relates to.
Yeah.
What, you don't like Nickelback?
I like zoned out through all of that, and then I heard Arcade Fire. Like,
actually,
yes,
a former
a
former colleague of mine actually went to high school in Hanna, Alberta, with Nickelback.
I feel like every time I say the word Nickelback, like somebody else logs off.
Just don't say it. No. If you say it one more time, Chad Kroger will bust in the door. It's like, it's like Beetlejuice, right? You say it 3 times.
Yeah. No, we're stopping that talk. Moving along. But okay. Like where I'm kind of curious and where I want to lead this discussion is I went to School of Communication, SFU. Shout out to SFU. Not really. I got a degree from there. But I know when I first started going to school, every communication student, really anybody that's working in this kind of communication media realm, they want to be on the radio, they want to be on TV, they want to be a reporter. Like those were like, they wanted to be a journalist of some sort. And, you probably keep half an eye on what's going on in the media industry these days. I won't go too deep into it, but I mean, like, jobs are dropping left, right, and center. And it's not just audio, it's not just writing, it's everything, right? But nowadays I find, if I'm talking to like the first and second year version of Sade, they all want to be community managers. But it's weird. It's weird how that's turned out.
Well, you got it locked in then, don't you?
Yeah.
I guess you'll just go and be a journalist 5 years from now. Go backwards.
Me as a journalist?
Yeah.
I can see myself.
But anyway, the point is, like, have you noticed that shift in different people you've worked with, and what are kind of like your general thoughts on the media industry in general and how it's kind of changed?
Oh God, do we have several hours?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah. We got 40 minutes. Go.
Yeah, I mean, we are at a stage now where the internet was a huge paradigm shift for all forms of media. Yeah. Like first thing interview that I ever did was in print, and I have done a lot of print stuff over the years because when I was younger, I would hustle and I would write for literally anyone that would take a pitch.
Yeah.
And I noted over the years that there was a transition in terms I was pitching less to print and pitching more to web over the years. And that's the nature of where eyes are going.
Yeah.
And where are eyes going to go from here on in? Who knows? I mean, we may see a greater growth in VR and AR media, getting big. Do I see people wanting to, I mean, it's a weird one because in terms of broadcast media, Vancouver has, some very interesting web stations going on right now. Yep. People like No Fun Radio, antennas, as well as your traditional terrestrial radio that's happening as well. So people who want to aspire to, I want to be on CBC or I want to be on CKNW, they can still do that. But there are a lot of people that realize that may not be the thing for them, but the technology and the possibility is out there so that they can get involved with something that's maybe not as respectful to their moms, but is still an opportunity for them to be out there broadcasting and preaching their gospel.
Yeah, that's fair. Is our podcast going to kick out radio? It's a loaded question.
Oh,
we are on a podcast, so there might be a little bit of bias, but
I think there's room for everything.
That's fair. Expand.
Speaking as someone who doesn't, I do a podcast. I also do a terrestrial radio show. I mean, I literally got home from doing my radio show.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I go to sleep.
I very rarely sleep on anymore, or at least on no. But I've been doing a show on Vancouver's cooperative radio, CFRO, 100.5 now for the last 14 years.
Yeah.
So it's 14 years of very sleep deprived Fridays.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. So let's book that down. We're gonna start filming at 2 a.m. in the morning instead. Yeah. That's my prime time anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a hard time getting here in the morning. It's really hard for me to make it here for the 12 o'clock show.
Hashtag peak Sam.
Yeah, that is peak Sam. But I mean, on that note, and to draw it back to kind of the companies you work with, I mean, there's so many different ways that media can be created now. Like you can have a Medium account. Obviously, you have the Twitters and the Facebooks and so on and so forth. You can also make podcasts. I mean, it's relatively no frills now. I mean, compared to, when you started in the industry and the kind of massive equipment that we had back then, like just everything is just a lot smaller. In fact,
back in my day, I had to go 12 miles in the snow just to do a radio broadcast.
Exactly. Now you can do it on Anchor, on the phone, like just through Skype calls, all that kind of stuff. I mean, like what advice would you have for startups, maybe earlier stage? And at what point do they dive deep into, one realm? Is there one preferred, medium, no pun intended?
Mm-hmm. In terms of media startups?
Yeah, in terms of content and content marketing and brand building, I guess those are usually the
man.
roles,
I mean, I'm very much, it's going to be case specific as to like what you're doing. I mean, I believe very much in the Jackson Pollock idea of throwing something, to keep throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what fits, because we are in a day and age where your ability to seize the means of production and to get your voice out there it's so easy. As you're saying, it's like get an Anchor account, get a Medium account, get a register with Blogspot or WordPress or something, and just get out there and do it. So if you have the opportunity in which to create all kinds of content, get it out there, because for as much content as out there, there are as many content funnels.
Yeah.
So people are going to be listening and looking at and watching all different things. Yeah. So do you have a YouTube account? Cool. Get a Vimeo account. Yeah. Get a Daily Motion account. Oh,
the food just came in.
Oh, yeah.
Are we ready for food?
Well, I mean, we're always ready for food, but no, it's gonna hide.
It's gonna hide.
Let's not get too excited. We'll wait a little bit for food.
We'll wait a little bit. But yeah, for sure. Like one of the things one of the startup mentors told me is that every company should be a media company. And obviously, I don't think they're meaning like every company should be Fox News or something like that. But just having this concept, having some sort of content strategy from day one.
In this day and age, it's very much what have you done for me lately? Yeah. So you should, if the opportunity is there, generate content in one form or another. And get it out there and continue to generate that content, and people, if it's, will pick up on it, if it's their niche, if they're into it, if you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I also want to tie in the fact that video content is really taking over, and the reason I was so rudely on my phone, sorry guys, is I
got notes on my phone too now.
I brought back the schedule from this conference I went to this week called Vid Talks.
Oh yeah.
And it's all about how to use video for marketing as well as many other areas in your company, and how to do it at any level of your
So we should just film everything and be like the Truman Show, right?
Like reality TV for companies. No, well, we're not doing that. But I wanted to bring up this cool company. It was the first speaker. It's a company called Wistia. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, sorry, Wistia. But the girl talking up there, she brought us some really good points. And what they have is they have a really awesome product that makes it really easy for you to record yourself on any device and create some cool videos that you can then use either for marketing or a cool thing that she brought up is customer service. So a lot of companies are using their program to do their customer service responses through videos. So if they get kind of an inquiry, they send back a video of them talking, and then next to them, they can like split the screen into their face and then their computer screen, and then kind of do a demo on alongside.
And I think that's where the growth is going to come with the application of media to various tech companies, is that you can do things with audio, you can do things with video that can be applied to, as you say, the customer service experience, and if no one else is doing that, then that's a game changer.
Yeah,
that's going to switch things up.
It's more personable, and it just makes the experience, I think, a little bit better for the person on the other side. So I don't have to read a freaking novel of how to fix whatever is going wrong with the software or the platform that I'm using.
Here's a PDF.
Yeah, it's
like, giver.
And it's like, here's a fun video of me showing you exactly what you need to do on your screen. And then they were also using it for, and this kind of threw me off, but they were using it for biz dev as well. So people that go out to conferences, they actually would do follow-up emails with a video instead of text. And nice. Some people are even using videos in their email signatures, which I think is also really cool.
Please don't email us with videos.
Yeah, so
only if they're cat.
Really
only if they're cat videos.
You can use get creative on how to use video, and you don't need. They really highlighting on how to make quality videos with the least amount of equipment possible, and it was amazing. You can do a lot with very little stuff.
It's true. It's true. Actually, on that note, last week we sent an email here at Launch Academy sending out to anybody interested in Startup Visa. We did an Ask Me Anything series. So we got a ton of responses. So for anybody that's listening that's going, Sam said he'd answer my question, we are working on the video responses for you. So just hang out, wait a little bit, and we'll come out with them probably sometime next week.
It's really hot under these lights. He can only spend so much time in front of the camera before he starts
That's why we're all looking
losing
at our phones.
weight.
We're like,
that's not true. These lights are supposed to produce zero heat. It's just you guys.
What are you talking about, guys? There's no lights here. This is natural.
I look this good all the time.
Thanks. Ruin the shtick shot, eh?
Jeez. Anyway. So, I mean, we could sit here all day and just pester you with questions. But Sade and I came up with a game that we want to play because you're one of the most diverse people I know. So I have a theory about people. Like, they're usually interested in one of few things. It's either, music or sports, or some of them are really like tech geeky, or cars is usually another one. Those are kind of like the common topics that for anybody that wants to create small talk, those are kind of your big four. But talking to you, I know you have such a massive, diverse amount of interest that you could go on about any one of those topics. So what we're going to play is a game we called Rapid Fire.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby.
All right. So Sade and I have prepared a whole bunch of questions for you.
Okay.
And we're going to have it under the pressure of annoyingly. Well, it's annoyingly annoying. Is that a term?
Or annoyingly quick?
Annoyingly quick.
Yeah.
Give music.
Okay. I just thought the producer was going to throw things at me if I.
You have to answer these questions.
Make a note for that. We'll do that next time. And we're going to see how many we can get through so we can learn about a little bit more about you.
Cool. Let's go.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I've never done this before, so if I mess up on this rapid fire questioning, just feel my bad. Okay.
All right, so is it understood? Shadi's going to ask you the questions you want to answer as quick as possible. And then she's going to move on to the next one. And hopefully we'll get some truths out of this as well about your true feelings about how you really feel about Victory Square and working there.
You can't elaborate on these questions. It's just, okay.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1.
Do you see my cat tattoos? Yes, cats.
Vegetables or fruit?
Vegetables.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Tinder or Bumble?
Tinder?
World domination or world peace?
Oh, world domination by far.
Sam or Sade?
Producer lady.
Money or free time?
Free time.
Gummies or chocolate?
Ooh, chocolate.
Mac or PC?
Mac on the streets, PC in the sheets.
Cereal or milk first?
Cereal.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Both.
Tablet or computer?
Both.
Your favorite company at Victory Square?
Oh, obviously Victory Square.
Good one. Ray or Alex?
Shouts out to my man Kanye East all day.
Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Marvel or DC Comics?
Marvel.
Spoon or fork?
Spork.
Fried chicken or roasted chicken?
Fried chicken.
Vodka or tequila?
Scotch.
Monopoly or Settlers of Catan?
Oh, Monopoly. And my girlfriend will kill me on that one.
Ice cream or froyo?
Oh, ice cream.
Oh, this one's fun. Sporty, scary, baby, posh, or ginger spice?
Sporty.
Oh, good. The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Are we going to keep going?
Should we keep going? Do we want to keep going? Yeah,
this sounds more.
Oh my God.
Good. I think you did about
Nice.
20, 25.
Want to keep
Solid.
going?
Yeah, keep rolling them.
Okay, super fast or invisible?
Super fast.
New York or LA?
LA.
Soccer or football?
Well, aren't those the same thing?
I don't know.
That's the answer I was hoping for.
Ching.
Snapchat or Instagram?
Instagram.
Toronto Maple Leafs or Winnipeg Jets?
Winnipeg Jets.
Never picked the Maple Leafs.
10 minutes late or 20 minutes early?
Case dependent.
Hot dogs or burgers?
Burgers.
Boxers or brief? Don't answer that.
Boxers, obviously.
What did you? Oh wait, no, let's not do that one. There's all long ones. Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Favorite superhero?
Oh man. I'm gonna say the Vision.
Okay. Dream
Comic book Vision, not Avengers movie Vision.
Spot. Dream spot vacation or dream vacation spot? I guess.
Probably Sapporo, Japan.
And we'll finish with this one. What's your favorite place to eat in Gastown?
My favorite place to eat in Gastown, man, well, it doesn't actually exist anymore. So I'm gonna cop to probably La Taqueria.
La Taqueria. Nice. You like to pay too much for tacos. Good to know.
Asada, man.
I like tacos.
Actually, let's finish on this question.
I mean, it doesn't hit the level of the LA street taco truck that I've been to. Yeah,
I'm going to a place this weekend called Gringo that has good tacos, and apparently East Van. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
There,
I thought it was just just like Blood
Okay,
Alley.
it's not East Van, it's Gastown. I just want to be
Which is East Van to some people.
East
So
Van.
It's like 3 blocks away.
Never mind.
But it is true. I noticed there's like 2, like in terms of talking about tacos, and this is totally jumping off your
Yeah.
train. Like there's 2 sets of people. Like there's people who like love like LA tacos, and then there's like the Texas kind of middle US who don't believe in putting fish in tacos. This is a real
on.
thing. This is a real thing.
yeah, no, I'm familiar. Well, it gets even more difficult because if you actually talk to actual like Mexicans, like if you go to Mexico City and actually have legit like dyed in the wool proper roots tacos, the people that are down there will look at LA tacos, they'll look at Texas tacos, they'll look at wherever tacos and be like, that is just not the thing.
Like they're really passionate about it.
It's a niche which it's like barbecue, it borders on obsession.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll eat any taco. Like I don't. Why are people so picky? Tacos.
It's an art form, man.
Yeah.
It's a craft, and some people.
And just like the whole cereal milk or cereal question, like what you put on first, like it matters.
Yeah, that's true. I don't trust people that put milk first. No.
Who puts milk first?
I don't know. There's
Okay,
people out
if
there.
you put milk first, leave a comment down below, and then we're
Yeah.
gonna make fun of you.
Yeah. I also don't trust people that say no to ice cream.
I'm so hungry. Can we get to the
Let's eat.
why would you say no to ice cream?
Yeah,
What
I
is
just
wrong?
don't trust them. When you're like, do you want some ice cream? People are like, no. I'm like, you are a serial killer. I'm not trusting you.
Okay, so I mean, before we get to the food, like let's do some announcements, do some shout outs. Obviously, thank you James for coming by, and shout out to Victory Square.
Well, thank you all for having me. Shouts out to the VST team. Of course, shouts out to Kanye East, JKP, and enough respect to my girlfriend's cat, Jasmine.
What kind of cat?
Hey, that's my middle name.
Jasmine? Like a princess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, so we're doing announcements before food.
Yeah, you gotta work before you eat. That's how it works.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about a few events, some announcements that are happening this week. We've got a lot happening. Actually, not this week. Next week, we've got some cool events. On April 25th, we've got a cybersecurity workshop. On April 26th, we've got a startup ladies night. So all the ladies out there, please come join us at 5:30. It's at Launch Academy. There'll be wine, there'll be cheese, and good conversation. And then April 30th is Intro to Blockchain workshop. So if you're still out there saying, what the hell is blockchain? Come join us on April 30th. Some announcements. We're on the hunt for a junior marketing intern.
Ooh.
So if you know anyone, or if you are anyone that thinks they're up for the massive responsibility of being a junior
and hanging out with us and getting us food and
yes,
They're good people, folks.
Yeah.
I promise.
please go find our job post. It's on Indeed. some shout outs because there's a lot of really cool stuff that's happening in the last week with our members. So our member Lee Sambaluk, sorry if I mispronounce your name, Lee.
What up, Lee?
Hey, Lee. He just published his first book. Yeah. And so Lee runs a company called Perception. I'm not going to describe it. Just Google it. It's cool. But he published a book about the secret of being one step ahead in professional sports and in high performance environments.
Yeah.
So taking what people do in sports and putting it in everyday life and learning how to be one step ahead in general.
Interesting.
Pretty
I
cool.
know Lee worked a lot with the Whitecaps. Probably the reason they stopped winning is because he stopped working with them. So there you go.
Also, the Whitecaps have 2 Costa Rican players, and that's why I like them. I don't care if they're good or bad. If you have 2 Costa Rican players, I like you.
Tight shorts and nice hair. We get it.
Yeah, so way to go, Lee. And if you want to take a look at his book, it's now on Amazon. You can buy the ebook. I think the published actual printed book is coming out in a few weeks. That's what he said last time. So a few other shout outs. We have an alumni called Meet Me who just acquired their first company. So they've just
Meet Me is super cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. So
unless you're vegetarian.
Yeah, but it makes basically eating meat a little bit more ethical and environmentally friendly and local. So check out Meet Me if you don't know what they are. And they've just acquired Barons of Beef. And this makes them the #1 platform for delivery of locally raised beef in British Columbia, or meat in general in British Columbia. That's pretty amazing. So we're really proud of them. Way to go, Meet Me.
Right out of these doors.
Yeah. And also this week, our alumni Lendified won $100,000 at a pitch battle at the Canadian FinTech 2.0 Summit. So way to go, Lendified. That's awesome.
All right.
Launch Academy fam killing it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Cool.
So these are all either alumni or actual members. I think Lee's actually outside that door.
Lee's a member. Meet Me and Lendified are alumni.
Any announcements from you, James? Or
keep your ears to the ground. VictorySquare.com. Twitter is @VicSquareTech. There's going to be some big announcements from some of the members of the family coming up real soon. You might have seen we just got involved with a neat little company called Loco Noco.
how do you spell that?
LOCONOCO.
They've got to be doing something cool. Loco Noco?
It's actually an abbreviation for something that I can't remember off the top of my head, but the press release is floating around. We're looking very much forward to getting involved with them. And just again, hit us up on the socials. And as I've always said, if you're doing cool things, come say hello.
How can they say hello?
Twitter, VictorySquare.com is the website. Contact information's on there. Just give us a call and leave us a message. 604-289-166.
Who calls it?
Oh yeah, no, don't call them.
Hey, what's the phone number? Pop quiz. Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought.
If you call them, they're gonna know you're not cool, and they're not gonna want to work with you.
It's like, please call in if you want to be your junior marketer.
Call in now, and you can win a free set of one.
Fair enough. I mean,
good at that.
Housekeeping items. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. That's Launch_Academy on Twitter and Instagram as well. Facebook, you're probably already on it, but it is Launch Academy.
If you're watching and you're like, come on.
Yeah, so it's already here. Anything else you want to announce?
Have we given shouts out to the brand new producer of
shout out
so we do have a brand new producer here, Claire Robinson, on the mic. Actually, I didn't give her a mic. We'll give her a mic next time.
Yeah. Sad times our previous producer, Matthew, left us.
We got rid of him.
Yeah, we fired him. Not quit.
All right.
So voted off Launch Island.
So this week, I think our other intern actually helped me microwave it, because this is a food that you need to eat warm.
Okay.
If not hot. I have no idea what it'll taste like. I bought it from my local supermarket called H Mart. Have you ever walked in an H Mart? I think.
No.
Oh, I've been. Yeah, I've rolled through H.
So when I've
done everything.
When I picked this food, I was 98% sure that, and it's, you notice with arbitrary numbers, it's always 98%. That he's tried this food. You can bring it in.
Well, one of the fun parts of I used to live in Japan for a time, and there's a few things in Japanese cuisine which they always love to throw past the foreigners, because they're like, oh my god, we're totally gonna gross out this guy.
So then eventually you got
You get well, you know.
It's always that. And actually this is vegetarian. So this might be my one and only vegetarian dish ever, period.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm excited to see what this is. Claire, our producer, is celebrating in the background because she's vegetarian.
Claire's vegetarian.
She gets to eat the leftovers.
So there's two parts to this. One is it is a rice cake.
Okay.
And then I think they mix it with vegetables, but I don't eat the vegetables. I just eat the rice cakes. So I haven't actually tried this, so it's gonna be hit or miss. I mean, it's a supermarket, so you know, you get what you get. But it's
food here. We try food.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you open it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, lunch crab to me.
There you go.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, that looks cool.
Son.
So this is called Tteok-bokki. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. I don't know how to spell it either. Don't ask me to spell it. Some people spell it with 2 T's. Yeah.
If somebody can provide us with the actual spelling.
Sometimes it's like
comments.
2 D's too. Like it's confusing.
So the camera's a little bit away for our Facebook live stream people here now. Sorry that you can't see.
Well, we're gonna try. Have you had this before, James?
No, I have not.
Oh, 2% chance, eh?
Yeah. No, you've done well. You've done well.
All right.
So it's rice cake with vegetables.
Yeah, but it's made with like some sort of kimchi sauce.
Okay, so like gochujang or
I don't know.
The more I look at it, the grosser it starts looking.
Yeah,
it looked really good at the start.
You should eat now.
Don't let your mind get too deep into it. Otherwise, don't let your mind get too deep into it. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, oh my god, it looks like pig intestine. What am I gonna do?
There is no pig intestine in here. There's really nothing in here.
Okay.
Here you go. Is it still cold? Is it warm now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Good job, Caroline. Thank you. She has this look of perplexed, anxious.
I don't want to chew into the microphone.
She doesn't want to chew. Does she like it? It's not bad, right?
That's actually really good. It's kind of like a slightly underdone gnocchi.
So
that's what I was looking for. I'm like, what does it taste like? It tastes like gnocchis.
The gnocchis.
Mm-hmm. Have you had gnocchis before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing with this is, if you go to the supermarket, and this is like a life tip, if you hit him up around like 6:30, that's when their hot food usually gets discounted.
Well, yeah, it's because they're trying to clear it all out for the day.
They don't need it for the next day like we're doing right now.
In this. What is that?
I have no idea. That's the vegetable I was talking about.
Is that vegetable, or is that like, or is that possibly bean curd? Looks like a sheep bean curd.
I have no idea what that is.
I have no clue.
So anyway, this was taken at 30% off. So
what you're saying is you cheaped out on feeding me.
We can't afford to feed us every week.
Because we're not profit.
We're not for profit. Cool. Any last remarks before we sign off? It is spicy. So that is the thing. I think I've gone 2 spicy weeks in a row.
No, it's good.
No, that's really good.
So maybe next time I'll not have the spicy.
Well, next time it's my turn. I get to bring you some kale based thing.
I was actually very close to bringing you guys something. I didn't have the time to. I had something in mind. I just didn't have the time to actually put it off.
Why would you say that? I'm like,
because maybe I'm gonna have to show. No, I'll just randomly show up for.
Okay, good.
That's how he gets back on the show, right? Like
smart.
So thank you very much, James, for being our guest today.
Guys,
hope
thank
you guys had fun
so much for having me. This has been a blast. I look forward to seeing future episodes of Lunch Academy.
Cool. So yeah, enjoy the Tteok-bokki, and until next time, any last remarks?
Thanks, Facebook people, for watching our live stream, and thanks everybody else for listening.
Hello to Sade's entire family.
Yes, my mom's been vigorously watching this.
Club.
So yeah, please subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating. I heard that helps us out. I'm not really sure. Never gotten one, so we'll go from there.
All right.
Don't
bye,
leave
guys.
us 1-star rating. All right. Take care, guys. Signing off.